If you are feeling like you are at an impasse with something, you feel like you're being challenged and overwhelmed with certain things, whether it's health or finances, relationships, my next author is going to help you to see how you have the answer. You have the ability to overcome what's happening in your life right now. Hang in there with me. He's got a great message. His name is Dave Minyard, and it's Life in Two Lanes. Dave, we're glad that you're here.
Thank you. Appreciate
Da-
being here.
Dave, let's talk about Life in Two Lanes. What is it generally? What's the message? What do you want someone to know or feel when they read this?
That despite impassable situations or problems, that there is a way, and you just have to hang in there and realize that you know, most all of the times you are the key to the answer of the problem.
How is that regarding relationships, money, finances, health? What is the foundational message that you're talking about that you're the key? What's the key?
I would say with the humanity, the creative ability within us to conceive of an idea, implement the idea, and then you come to the a conclusion of what you thought was impossible.
Looking at it different.
Correct.
Age of freedom. That you talk about that in your book, and I want to know what do you mean by that?
So, um, no matter the task, whether it's being invited to the Pentagon to fulfill congressional mandates in anti-terrorism, or uh, um, a chapel at Bowling Air Force Base wanted to have new lights and had waited for 14 years and still had no impasse. And so either situation seemed very grand, but both situations, I uh, uh, had some ideas, found the best solution, implemented the idea, and turned it into problem solved.
Dave, you are one to raise your hand and say, "I can do that." It's almost like yes, and then you figure it out. I think a lot of that has to do with not letting doubt get in your way and just saying, "You know what? I'm smart and I can figure this out. I need to look at it differently." Let's talk about doubt.
Uh, I think in the aspect of what you conveyed, that it's even defragging that whole piece of raising your hand. I just go, and
Ah.
so when the human mind starts to think or what have you,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
that that's a that's an impedance to getting to the action, coming up with a solution or an idea, and then implementing the solution. So it's I would call it uh, similar to training, training. All right, and then when a situation comes up, you're going because you've
Mhm.
already had the training.
Mhm.
Make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. You don't even waste your time raising your hand. You
Oh,
have been trained, you go, and you
right,
do what you need to do and what's right.
right.
And you one of the other things that you talk about in your book is hesitation, in your action when you see injustice or wrongs. Let's dive into that a little bit deeper.
So was at a breakfast to learn about boats from some coasties. Okay, and come to find out, the breakfast was about them raising money for a memorial to honor enlisted who lost their lives in line of duty. And I
Mm,
was like, you have to do a dog and pony show to the chaplain to the chap next to me, not chaplain,
right.
who was the president of the association. And he said, "Yeah, Dave." And I said, "Watch this." I was already ready. I hit confirm, and I dropped uh, a lot of this in their account. His eyes just got big. So it
Wow.
is about being right there
Hmm.
on on the edge of the starting line, and then just go. And so as a result of that, they found, that others followed my lead, and it allowed them to secure their funding in record speed. And now uh, I was the biggest donor at the time, and others who were coasties should have
Stepped
been
up a
more than
little
me.
more. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I told them I don't have to be a coastie to take care of the Coast Guard.
Right.
I live in the country.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Dave, the thing that's so amazing about you is that you are a doer. I mean, there's no hesitation. You just, whether you're on top of the mountain or in a valley, you say that the ground looks the same. And
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, you're not intimidated. Your bravery is what stands out to me. It doesn't matter where you're at, you go and you do based on what needs to be done.
Yeah. Um, one thing is if you see the emblem on the golf shirt,
Mhm.
got that in the Air Force One complex
Okay.
because they were up to a situation that was an issue, and I resolved that situation. And so over and over again, no matter how important the task would be, uh, um, figure out a way. They
Mm,
needed a brick and block entrance for the command center for the inauguration in '92,
mm.
and I delivered that brick and block entrance 2.5 months ahead of schedule and
Wow.
$14,000 under budget. I got it done in 2 weeks, and it was the first brick and block thing I ever built, and
Wow.
and that was managed by GSA. So, you know, now I didn't lay the brick and block. I mean, I did other portions, but I was a general contractor, and ended up having to do the carpentry because the carpenter didn't show up.
So, but what that tells me is that you don't have to be the one fixing all the problems. You need to orchestrate it and know the people in your lives that can help you.
Correct. I do not mind learning how to do brick and block, but if I can find someone whose word is their bond, who will
Mhm.
show up and do what they said they were going to do, you know,
Mhm.
uh, um, it's an important task, uh, um, and when the carpenter called me to say he wasn't going to show up, at least he called me.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I went down to a lumber place with my white sedan DeVille Cadillac, strapped 4x8 plywood and 2x10s on top of that Cadillac. Of course, they were looking at me like, and down to Southeast DC I went. I mean, I was
Yeah,
born in DC, so I wasn't like, okay, and
sure.
done. Because the next day I had the roofing company coming out to put the thermal, rubberized roof on. So,
Wow.
it's
You do
getting it
what you
done.
have to do.
Right.
Dave, I want we're kind of wrapping up here, but I want you
Yes,
to
ma'am.
give some final thoughts of inspiration, hope, and just some mentoring to those that are facing challenges that they feel like they can't overcome. Where would you start?
I'd start with a deep breath
Mhm.
and know that whether it's supporting and defending your country or taking care of a neighbor in need, it's all important. Okay. People need
Mm,
hope. People need to, feel like, there's a rope coming down from above or a life vest close by, and figure out a way. And I look at that. The Creator stuck our eyes on our head, looking out to look out for others.
mhm.
Uh, uh, do the mission, and
Yeah.
I love my country, but I love my community and love my family. And I practiced doing what I do by it being personal to my family, and
Mm.
so it's imperative to remember there is always a way, always.
There's always a way. I think that's a great note to end on. Dave, where is your book available?
You can find it eagleswatchfoundation.org.
Okay.
Scroll down to the bottom of the page, and you'll see a picture of me with sunglasses on, and
Very
then
good.
and a variety of outlets, Amazon and Lulu.com. And
I
can I end with, uh,
Yes.
do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path, and leave a trail. If I can,
Wow.
yeah,
Mic drop, Dave. Mic dropped.
roger that.
Thank you. Have a great day, and thanks for
Thank you,
joining us
ma'am.
today.
All right, bye bye now.